You're watching Toronto Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network.
It's Mondays with McGuire. Pierre joins us, and I have a date for you, Pierre. January 10th. That was the Toronto Maple Leafs' last regulation win. That you don't have to be a genius in accounting to realize that ain't good.
You know what, Dan? It's tough in this 5-game homestand, and there's one left to play. They've got 4 losses. You lose to Minnesota, you lose to Detroit in overtime, you lose to Vegas, you lose to Colorado. Like, you got 1 game left, and it's Buffalo, and Buffalo's playing fantastically well, Dan. It's heartbreaking to watch. So I know they try to roll the dice and put Stolarz in for the game with Vegas, and it starts terribly. And Stolarz, you can see, is having a tough time tracking the puck at the NHL level. That was really apparent. So I feel badly for him. And he didn't. I'm sure he would have liked to have been better. He just wasn't. But the team around him wasn't particularly good either. Their defensive zone coverage, Dan, just not good enough, and it's got to be better. And it starts in the neutral zone. And it's a commitment of the forwards to help the defense. It's about closing down lanes. It's about competing for loose pucks. Not enough guys were ready to get engaged in the battle. And then, you watch a game with Colorado, and it's the Brock Nelson show. And what's Joe Woll going to do? I mean, not a lot of support again with in-zone coverage. Toronto's got a lot to fix. The injury situation has clearly affected them, but that's no excuse. Every team in the league is dealing with injuries right now.
Stolarz allowed 5 against the Golden Knights, and as soon as you mention him and how he wasn't tracking the puck, so I'm sure, I didn't see the game, but I'm sure at least once during that game, someone said, oh, you'd like to have that one back. Can I just state for the record, an NHL goalie wants every one of them back. Any goal he allows, he wants it back.
You're right. You couldn't be more right, my man. They don't want anything to go in. You're so right on. It's so legit. I mean, I'm watching again. You talk about the Colorado game yesterday, and you see that the Leafs score a power play goal late in the game, and it breaks a shutout. You don't think that they want that goal back? Yeah, they want that goal back. So, the answer is no. All the goalies in the league, they can stop every goal that's shot at, or every shot that's shot at them.
Willie Nylander made news during that matinee affair against the Colorado Avalanche. The camera panned to the guys that weren't playing, and he flipped the bird to the camera. Mm-hmm. But that it's not like the 1940s. If that happened in the 1940s, well, were there cameras in the 1940s or the 1950s? I don't even know when cameras were invented. It would be a big deal because it meant something. Now, given the finger, he was just joking around.
So it mattered in the early 1990s with Guy Carbonneau in Montreal. He eventually got traded out of there. The Montreal Gazette snapped. It might have even been all of the French papers too. Caught a picture of him giving the finger to the camera, and he eventually got moved out of town. So that's over 30 years ago. I could see where that might have played a role. But the way I look at this with Toronto, it's pretty simple. He's an important player for the team. He's already apologized to the media. He's apologized to the fans. Internally, I'm sure they'll sit him down and say, this is how we do business as a Toronto Maple Leaf. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think it just needs to be addressed internally, and he did the right thing by apologizing because it's not appropriate, especially if you're, quote unquote, a role model in your community. But I think we got to look past it once he makes the apology and it gets dealt with internally and just move on. It's not like he did something that was so rude that he'll make people hate the Maple Leaf brand, because I just don't see that happening.
The thing that struck me when they panned to those players was, did these guys just get off the couch? Where did the suits go? No one wears suits anymore?
So that was collectively bargained in the last collective bargaining agreement. Players do not have to wear a shirt and tie to go in the rink. And it's interesting. I spent a lot of time going to, whether it's NHL games or American Hockey League games or even East Coast League games, college games. I go to a lot of games on weekends in different parts of the world. And the NHL is probably the only league right now where guys are just showing up like a pair of jeans and a T-shirt or a sweater. It's kind of weird. I watch college teams show up and all the guys are wearing shirt and ties and they look good. I watch American League guys show up. Maybe they don't have a tie on, but they're mostly wearing shirts and coats. So I don't know, but yeah, you're right. That was definitely a unique looking picture. Something you would not have seen 10 years ago in an NHL rink for sure.
If you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs upcoming schedule, minus the Sabres, who probably are the most fearsome team that they're going to face until they face the Oilers at the start of February, they have a little stretch where I know you don't want to look past the game that's in front of you, but they have a chance to get some points because they have a pretty, not light schedule, but it's not intimidating.
Well, the first two at Seattle, at Vancouver, shouldn't be intimidating. You go into Calgary, and they're basically moving all their players, and then you go into Edmonton. So, and then you got your Olympic break. So, you look at it, forget the Buffalo game, that's 8 points. They got to take 6-8. They have no choice. If they don't take 6-8 on that trip, then they're not going to make it. It's pretty simple. Buffalo, people want to, I'm getting all these questions from people all over the place. Why is Buffalo better? Buffalo's better because now they have an identity. They're a four-line attack-oriented team. They lean on you with their depth players. You look at a guy like Greenway, you look at a guy like Malenstein. Those guys come at you and they just pile drive your defense into the back wall. Their first line is unbelievably talented with Doan and with Thompson and with Tuck. They come at you in straight lines. Their defense has big physical people, especially Matthias Samuelsson. I got to tell you then, Matthias Samuelsson, there's Ryan Shea in Pittsburgh, there's Parker Wotherspoon in Pittsburgh, and there's Matthias Samuelsson in Buffalo. I think those are the three most improved players in the league. I'm not kidding you. And they play about 150 to 200 miles apart, Pittsburgh to Buffalo. Something must be in the water. You look at it, but Buffalo's better because of the size of their defense, the depth of their forwards, and the way their penalty kill plays. Their penalty killing is phenomenal. Phenomenal, it really is.
Are the Sabres playing the way they are because they're playing in Buffalo? I say that because if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, each game you play, you're expected to win. If you're the Sabres, no one expects you to do anything.
No, that's a really good point. I think the people in Buffalo are starting to like this team because they're playing with vim, vigor, and vitality.
And there's no Bills right now.
Yeah, and there's no Bills. There's a little bit of nasty to their game that people like. There's a little bit of consistency to their game that people really admire. And to your point, the Bills are done. And so now the focus goes to the Sabres, and people have something to cheer about now, which is really exciting.
When does this Toronto Maple Leafs team decide what they're going to do with regards to moving players or bringing players in?
I would bet that probably by the end of this road trip, before obviously we have the Olympic freeze, but they're going to know where they stand at the end of this break. And that's when I think you'll start to see after the Olympics, people will start to move.
So is that something the coach brings up with Berube, says to the team, you want to be on this team? Show it.
I think they've probably already had those conversations.
He's at every conversation with this team.
No, but I mean that usually that's one of the first ones say, hey, we want to see who wants to be part of the process here. Either you want to be part of the solution or you're part of the problem. So I think they've already had that. The shot across the bow for everybody was when they didn't do a deal on Marner. I think everybody realized when they didn't do a deal on Marner, school was out, so to speak. And then they gave everybody here a chance, whether it was Scott Lawton, who underperformed when he came from Philadelphia last year, Jake McCabe, who's battled through injuries, who's now back. They gave Brandon Carlo, who they paid a king's ransom for, and Fraser Minton going and a first-round pick going to Boston. They've given everybody an opportunity to prove whether they belong or not with the Leafs. So I don't think that conversation has to happen anymore. Guys know whether they are going to be part of it or they're not going to be part of it.
Craig Berube made headlines for something that occurred off the ice as he got some staples in his head, and it was reminiscent. The cut is so gruesome. He said it happened at a gym incident. It reminded me of Boris Salming in that infamous picture on the front of all the Toronto papers when he had stitches in his face.
Yeah, that was not Boreas thing, but Craig Berube, that injury looks horrific. Anybody that knows Craig knows how tough a guy he is, and he didn't bat an eye probably, but I gotta believe he was bleeding pretty profusely. That looked ugly. I don't know what unless somebody dropped a barbell on his head, or he couldn't handle something in the gym, or he lost sight of where he was. That he got hurt pretty bad there.
I've never seen that happen at my Fit for Less. I don't think we have the weights to accomplish an injury like that. Also, it should be noted, I am their best client because I pay I think it's $12 a month for the Fit for Less, and I haven't been in 2 years. That is why the gym industry will never die, is because of people like me.
Dan, you look great though. So, I mean, good for you. Must be natural.
Thanks, buddy. Just never sit down. Just always have something to do. Have we got any more details on, did he describe, he just said a gym incident. I'm left with a lot of questions.
I think we all are. I mean, I'll take him at his word, though, because, again, I know him. He's an honorable guy. He's a tough guy. I know he works out and trains a lot. There are a bunch of coaches in the league that work out all the time. Two of the most, I think, diligent workout guys. One is Berube. The other guy is Rick Tocchet in Philly, and they played with one another and against one another. And they both had a certain role that they had to play, so it's something that's carried forward for both of them.
Toronto Maple Leafs fans got a up close and personal look at the Colorado Avalanche, and they probably left that game. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, we've seen enough of them too. We don't want them to come back into our rink anytime soon. You know, obviously Brock Nelson's a name that's pretty polarizing right now. A lot of American people think he shouldn't be on Team USA, and a lot of people in Colorado saying, what are you watching? Do you even watch our team play? He's been fantastic. Islander fans would tell you the same thing. Brock's always been a really good player. I'm happy he's on Team USA. He was electrifying yesterday. There's depth on their defense. There's puck moving on their defense. They've got depth in goal with Blackwood and Wedgwood, the two Woods. They've got really good coaching. Jared Bednar is one of the most underappreciated coaches in the league. Nathan McKinnon is quick strike, instantaneous offense. You saw the goal from Jack Drury yesterday off an amazing feed from Parker Kelly. They just got depth with their lineup. They got size and mobility in the back end. They've got 4 lines deep. I mean, it's just everything. And it's just no fun to play against them. They're not a fun team to play against.
And a matinee affair is probably not a fun game to play in for either teams.
You know what? Some guys like matinees, other guys don't. I was always one that I liked it because, especially if we were on the road, you play the game, you're probably done by 3:30. You're on the plane.
You get the night off.
You're done by 5, or you're on the plane by 5, and you go to the next town. You can have a civilized meal, and then you can watch games. I always liked the afternoon. I think most of the guys that I was around kind of liked the afternoon games, but it was a different NHL then too. We weren't chartering all over the place. We were flying commercial from city to city to city. So,
and a matinee game that has to enter the guys' heads. They're like, there has to be a little nostalgia where they're like, kind of feels like minor hockey.
That's a good. I never really looked at it that way. That's a good thought too. I bet they do. I bet some of them do look at it that way.
Yeah, that'd be my pep talk if I was the coach. Guys, remember when you loved the game, when it wasn't a job? Go play like that.
That's a good way to look at it. I remember doing it. This is a good one for you, Dan, and for the listeners and viewers. I was doing a game for NBC in Washington, and there was just a gargantuan snowstorm, kind of like what's gone on in Toronto and through most of the United States the last 3 or 4 days. And Montreal was hosting Pittsburgh on a Saturday night. I'm not kidding you. And Pittsburgh actually was supposed to play a 12:30 start in Washington the next day, and there was unbelievable snow. And give Pittsburgh credit, led by Sidney Crosby. They knew it was an important part of the relationship with NBC. They chartered, and they couldn't land in Washington. They landed in Philadelphia, and they got on a bus. The roads were clear by then, and they went they probably got in around 4 a.m. I'm not kidding you. And they played at 12:30 or 1 o'clock the next day in Washington. They played, and I think they won the game. But it's to your point. It's the youth hockey element to it. Everything's not perfect. You don't get the perfect pregame skate. You don't get the perfect pregame meal. You don't get the perfect sleep. It's kind of like the youth hockey thing. And guys go out there and embraced it, and they had a great time with it.
And it's almost like when you're going on no sleep, the entire team is playing guilty. It's like you all feel like you had a big night out, and you're like, oh, geez, I better play well, when no one went out. And it's just, you probably know what I'm referring to here. With the lack of sleep kind of gives you a out-of-body experience where, like, why do I have this much energy?
Yeah, you're all in it together, too. I think, everybody says, oh, you got to be in it to win it, and you're all in it together. Well, in that situation, everybody's swimming in the same pool. So it's kind of, your point is well taken. It's very, very good.
Let's play our game here. Let me get situated. I don't know what part of the wall. You tell me what part of the wall to point to, Pierre. We're going to play 1 degree Pierre McGuire.
Go over your left shoulder. Let's see what
left shoulder. Okay, up here. Let's go out of shot.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, he's behind a pipe here. Oh, the one, the only Stéphane Richer.
So much about Steph. Great goal scorer, right-handed shot. Guy that loves skidooing. Grew up right near Thurso, Quebec, which is where Guy Lafleur and Billy Clement are from, just outside of Ottawa on the east side of the Ottawa River. Phenomenal player, great Stanley Cup champion, 50-goal scorer. I can't say enough good things about Steph. Big, too. Way underappreciated physically. And every time I've ever had a chance to meet with Steph, just a fantastic guy. Loved hockey. Did a lot of good things around the community. But I know he's got this passion for the outdoors, so a lot of time for him.
And he still does the Habs barnstorming tour. My good friend Chris Nylander, he coaches that team. So I've had a chance to meet Stéphane. What a class act. And whenever I hear the name Stéphane Richer, I think of Richer in his prime. And that's a player where you would just give the label to absolute stud.
Yeah. Well,
like he had the looks, he had the shot, he had everything.
Yeah, and when he came down that right wing, he could launch. And
howitzer!
Using wood sticks. I mean, he and Al, at that time, there was Al Iafrate, there was Al McInnes, and I think there was Stéphane Richer. Those guys had the 3 hardest shots in the league. And Richer could shoot it right through the goalie's body coming down the wing. It was unbelievable how strong he was on the stick.
And of that group, who smoked the most darts? Al Iafrate.
Al Iafrate. He went going away. I don't think Al McInnes has ever touched a cigarette in his life.
No. Yeah, Iafrate was classic. We had so much B-roll of him smoking darts before interviews. It was a different time.
It was.
Pierre, you're going to go play golf. I'm going to go shovel. So, yeah, you know where you can go.
I get it. Thank you, my man. Great visiting with you, Dan. Thanks a lot.
Have a great one.
Thanks for watching Toronto Sports Rush on the Bet Rivers Network.